let's now bring you some more developments on the international market. And the board of the International Monetary Fund, IMF, has approved disbursement of some $1 billion by government to government, I beg your pardon. This is to help government to fight the coronavirus. Aboagye-Wiafe has been going through this statement and joins us with more updates. George, welcome to Marketplace.
Thank you so much.
Fellas, first, tell us, how did we get here?
Well, how we got here was that somewhere around March 16, the government made a request to the IMF that they need some assistance in terms of getting the required financial support to help stabilize the economy and help absorb the shocks that might be coming from the effects of the COVID-19. A lot of economies have gone under. The projection is that we are likely to go into a recession from the World Bank. The finance minister himself has projected that we might end the year at a 1.5% growth rate. That would be the lowest growth that we've recorded in 37 years. And therefore, in some of these crises, you need the required financial support to help weather the storms. And that is why that application was made to the International Monetary Fund. Yesterday, the board sat and reviewed Ghana's request together with other West African and even African countries. And then they decided to approve this request from Ghana. That is some $1 billion to this country.
Why the approval? Why did they decide?
Well, why the approval? Because the fund itself has made available some $50 billion, and they've seen that, listen, this whole pandemic is going to throw a lot of economies out of gear, and it is in the IMF's own interest to take steps right now to help these countries weather the storms to absorb the shock. Because, listen, you don't want all your members returning to you for a program post when these things settle. The prediction is that several countries in the sub-region are going to go into recession, and therefore they were trying to be proactive, setting aside this $50 billion and an extra $10 billion that is a rapid credit facility to assist several countries. So the facility was there. It was just about you going to the IMF, knocking on their doors that I need help, and then voila, they look at you.
And I hope this does not necessarily mean that we've returned to the IMF.
No, this is not going for a program, because the interesting thing about this rapid credit facility is that it's not coming with any conditionality, and even the moratorium, or in terms of the time taken to pay this loan, 5 years, 10 years, it's a very, very favorable facility, because the fund believes that, listen, this might be the best way to assist these countries. And this is not a program. This is just a financial support to their member countries, helping them to absorb the shocks that will come with this coronavirus that is throwing a lot of economies out of gear.
Now, so George, any idea where these funds will be going towards and the impact on the economy? You
remember that the finance minister made an application to Parliament that they were going to carry out several stimulus package. Now, part of the funding is going to come from the IMF. And already the World Bank has actually advanced some $100 million to us. And all these monies from our external partners are expected to go a long way to assist governments in carrying out these programs. In terms of the specific areas, it's all about the stimulus package. We've learned about some $600 million going to SMEs. We heard about them putting together a package as well for those in the hoteliers industry, also for industries as well as manufacturing. So some of these funds are going to go into these areas. I know the question that you want to ask is that, so when is the money coming? As we speak right now, they are working on the process. And when it comes to the IMF, they deal directly with the central banks in each country. So economists always say that all other things being equal, by Friday or Saturday, the amount should hit Bank of Ghana's account. And there are several processes that we speak right now. They are working on it. So all other things being equal, by Friday or Saturday, these funds should hit Bank of Ghana's account.
Does it have the potential to influence the cedi's parity against the dollar?
Well, your currency has to do with having a stronger reserves. And so the IMF itself, in their statement, admitted that looking at the challenge, the city has gone through a lot of challenges. Listen, because of this COVID-19 problems that has shook all economies around the world, most investors that participate in our bonds are withdrawing their interest a little bit, and you've seen the Ghana cedi come under a lot of pressure as a result of that. Most investors are now buying gold assets rather than putting them in bonds, and you've seen the Ghana cedi come under a lot of pressure. So having these funds coming would also help improve our balance of payment, also help strengthen our reserves, and that could go a long way to support the currency, even though that is not the main purpose. And we believe that government is not going to deplete all these reserves now. It could take a while. So again, some buffers will come in, help in terms of our international payments, in terms of our reserves, and that might play a certain role in terms of supporting the Ghana cedi and stabilizing the Ghana cedi.
All right, so I will not let you go until you give us a brief on the U.S. Security Exchange's in action on a former employee of Goldman Sachs for paying bribes to some...
Yeah, you were right on that one. And then it looks like there was a complaint filed to the Securities and Exchange Commission. They did their own investigations, and it came to light that one Mr. Berko, being an employer of Goldman Sachs, it looks like paid some bribes to some government officials and parliamentarians to aid in the award of a contract for a Turkish firm that operates in the power sector. And therefore, it looks like they did their own investigations, and they thought that this Mr. Berko played a role in getting these monies to these intermediaries here to get this contract. But again, if you go through the Securities and Exchange Commission US's ruling, it looks like he did that outside or something that was not sanctioned by Goldman Sachs as a bank. Now,
is he going to jail?
Well, we are still picking up information that he is a US citizen. So there might be the likelihood that he has to return to US to answer some of these questions. And it's interesting that when some of these things come up, the bank always immune to solve. You will throw your mind back to the Kukadoboli case as well.
Exactly.
The bank said that they didn't sanction that there was a similar incident involving a Ghanaian in UK. The same Goldman Sachs, they said that, well, he did that independently of the bank.
Thank you very much, George, for that update. JoyNews bringing us up to speed with the latest release of some cash to the government to help fight the coronavirus.